Hi and welcome. We are super excited that we now have 100 subscriptions for this YouTube channel where we can share some yoga videos with you during this lockdown. So thank you for supporting us, thank you for watching these videos, and I wanted to share a Hatha yoga practice with you today to celebrate. So I invite you now to find a comfortable seat and we'll take a couple of minutes to settle in. Maybe sit up on something so you have some freedom to move your pelvis. You can rock a bit back and forward and maybe lean a little over to one side and the other side, feeling your sits bones, doing small circles around the periphery of your pelvic floor, if that feels good, just to gently move the lower back, pelvis and hips, circling a couple of times in one direction and then circling in the other direction too a couple of times. And then you can find a comfortable seat, come to the top of the sits bones and take a moment to feel your spine. You're welcome to close your eyes at any time or soften your gaze. So if you're more comfortable with your eyes open, just soften the gaze. You can look in a downwards direction and feel the whole of your spine lengthening all the way from the tailbone all the way to the top of the back of the head. If you notice your shoulders tend to drop a bit forward, maybe lift the shoulders up and bring them back and release them down. And maybe that felt so nice that you want to repeat a couple of times, or maybe your shoulders are already where it feels great. So allow for the tops of the shoulders to move back and shoulders and shoulder blades to release down. And then see if you can also balance your head, maybe gently bringing the back of the head a little bit further backwards so you feel like the head is just resting on the top of your neck and you don't have to make any effort to hold your head. So there's a lot of length from the pubic bone at the bottom all the way to the top of the back of the head. And then notice if you're holding any tension in your face, maybe checking in with your forehead, feeling the space between the eyebrows, feeling the eyes, maybe eyelids are closed or gently open, gazing downwards, releasing tension from the eyes and the cheeks, jaws, maybe yawning to release any leftover tension from your jaws. And then your lips can touch, but your teeth stay slightly apart. Maybe a little inward smile on your lips and your face. So feeling the face soften. Feel how your head is balancing on top of your neck. Shoulders balancing too. And you yourself are balancing on the top of the sits bones, making this posture an effortless effort. You're neither completely relaxing, slouching, couch potatoing, and you're also not doing too much of an effort. See if you can balance the effort of holding your pose, staying upright, with some effortlessness. And then direct your attention towards your breath. And just notice how the body is breathing right now, right here. Noticing when the body is inhaling and noticing when the body is exhaling. And again, you don't have to make any effort. You're just observing and using the breath as the anchor for your attention. So if your mind wanders, caught up in thoughts, or by hearing sounds or feeling sensations in your body, if your mind wanders, just gently bring it back to your breath. And then you can start to count the length of your inhalation and see if you can make that a count of 4. And then see if you can adjust the exhalation so that it also has a length of 4 counts. So you inhale and count 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, and inhale 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, and again inhale 2, 3, 4, and I see if you can lengthen the exhale to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Maybe counting to 6 now, lengthening the exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Twice more. Just count inside your own head. One more time, breathing into the nose and breathing out through the nose. And then just continue to breathe in a comfortable, slow rhythm. Maybe you're gently controlling the breath with a slight contraction in your throat, breathing in and out through your nostrils, or however feels comfortable to you. But we would like to slow the breath down a little bit as we start to move the body around. So continue in a slow pace, and you can raise your arms in front of you. Watch that you're also not lifting the shoulders, so bring the tops of the shoulders back and down. And then you're making fists with your hands, thumbs tucked in under the other fingers, okay? So take a breath in like this. And when you exhale, you just turn your hands around. And then when you inhale, bring your arms out wide, get a nice stretch across the chest. And when you exhale, bend at the elbows and push the fists through your armpits and reach the arms back and gently lift the arms up, and then inhale all the way around. Sometimes the shoulders get a little high here, so we use the exhalation to release the shoulders down and free the neck. And then inhale again, open the arms wide, get a nice stretch across the chest, and exhale, bending at the elbows, pushing the fists through the armpits and lifting up as high as you want, feeling the triceps on the back of the upper arms. And inhale again, let's do 3 more. Inhale as you go around, Exhale, just turn your hands, release your shoulders, free your neck. Inhale, open the arms out wide. Nice stretch across the chest. Exhale, bend the elbows. Push the fists through the armpits and lift the arms up. Twice more, just go in your own time. And the last one. And then after you've reached back, just release your arms down by the sides. And then as you inhale, lift your shoulders really high up towards the ears. And when you exhale, just let them drop down heavily. And try that again. Inhale, lift the shoulders high up towards the ears. Exhale, release. And again, lifting as you inhale. And exhale, release. And then we'll do 3 more, but you lift the shoulders high like before. And then you start laughing so the shoulders can hop and bounce all the way down. And then again, inhale, lift the shoulders up. One more time, lift up as you inhale. And exhale, give me a little laugh. Okay, so hopefully that brightens up your day a little bit. Then let's do a side stretch. So you can reach one arm overhead, inhale like that, and then exhale. You lean to the side, one hand down, one arm overhead. You can turn the upper palm and inhale, like brows all the way across to the other side, lifting the lower arm up. So you can bring the fingertips down or the palm down as you like. Keep the shoulders nicely away from the ears. And then again, inhale back through the middle and exhale. Get a good stretch of your side from the pelvis to the ribs. Back through the middle as you inhale and exhale to the other side. You can gaze out into the room, maybe gazing down towards the floor. Keep the neck long and look up below your arm. Inhale through the middle. Exhale, side stretch. Inhale through the middle and exhale, side stretch. And let's do one more to both sides. And then come back to the middle. Just pause for a moment and notice how you're feeling. Maybe closing your eyes, maybe just dropping your gaze. And just notice how you're feeling in your body and if these movements has affected your breath. Or maybe how you're feeling in your mind. Okay, so instead of stretching the sides, we're going to stretch more towards the back of the body. If you're kneeling like me, you may want to take your knees out a little wider. Maybe you're sitting cross-legged, and then that's a fine width between your legs. Place your hands on your thighs somewhere towards the knees and inhale as you sit tall. And then exhale, you reach across with the opposite shoulder towards the opposite knee. So you exhale, reach with the shoulder. Inhale, come back up through the middle. And exhale, reach with the opposite shoulder. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, reaching across. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, reaching. Just do a couple of more movements. Breathing, moving with your breath. And the next time you reach across, you can make it into a circle. So you circle over to the other knee and then inhale all the way up and back and exhale, reaching to one knee and the opposite knee. You can make this movement as small or as big as you like. Make it feel nice. And try the other way around too. And one more circle. And then coming back to the middle. And again, just pause for a moment and notice how you're feeling. Maybe closing your eyes, maybe just dropping your gaze. Checking in with your physical body and noticing if the movement has affected your breath or your state of mind. And when you're ready to move again, you release your legs, so bring your legs out in front of you. And then you bend your knees so that the balls of the toes can touch the foot. Just barely touching. So maybe you can feel with the feet out like this as not much of a contact. So you can't really put lean some weight into the floor. So look where your heels are and then bring the balls of the feet a little further back so they are placed approximately where the heels are now. So moving the feet slightly further in. And you can do this with your feet and your legs together if you prefer, or you can have hip distance between your legs. And then you hook onto the back of the knees. So you're using 4 fingers and hooking on. And then as you inhale, rock towards the pubic bone, lift your chest. You can lift your chin, keep the back of the neck long. And then when you exhale, keep pushing into your feet. And then you're rounding your back from the tailbone all the way up, dropping the chin down and rolling back. But keep pushing into your feet as you roll back. And then inhale, come back forward and lifting the chin, the chest and the chin. Exhale, lower the chin and round the back, tuck the tail. Keep rolling back as far as you want, but keep pushing into the feet. Inhale, rocking forward. Lifting the chest, heart, chin, head. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, rocking forward. Exhale, rounding. And you can hold on to your legs, or you could also interlock your fingers and then turn your palms out and lift the arms overhead. When you inhale, exhale, lower and round. And keep pushing into your feet. Inhale, coming forward, lifting your arms up. Stretching and reaching, exhale, lower and round. We do this twice more. You can interlock the fingers the other way around next time you come forward, lifting the arms up. And exhale, and lower. And the last one. And then come back to the middle. And then drop both of the knees over to one side and make your way up onto all 4s, knees, hands. So maybe using some support for your legs if it feels nice. You can continue to use a blanket under your knees, knees under the hips, and the wrists under the shoulders. And make sure to distribute the weight out of the root of the hand or out into the knuckles and the tips of the fingers. So the whole palm on both hands are taking some weight. And your arms are straight, but you don't lock your elbows. Okay? Maybe gently tuck the chin in a little bit. Feel the length in the back of the neck and the length in the whole of the spine. So there's a long distance from the top of the back of the head all the way down to your tailbone. And on the front, feel the support below the navel. So your deep abdominal muscles are gently supporting you from the front. So gently hucking your belly in a little bit towards the spine. And take a nice breath in like this. And when you exhale, round your back. Tuck the tail and tuck the chin. And then inhale, tailbone moves back. Chest moves forward, Maybe lifting the chin, getting a little stretch in the throat and the top of the chest. Exhale, rounding again. Now it's easy to round the upper back. See if you can also find some rounding in the lower back, even if it's more difficult. And when you inhale, it's easy to arch the lower back. See if you can maybe arch a little less in the lower back, but find some openness and space across the collarbones, opening the chest up as much as you can. And then exhale again, round. So just go in your own pace, following your breath, rounding as you exhale. And inhale, lengthen. And you can keep the hands where they are, or if you like, you could also exhale, move the hands towards the knees. And then inhale, walk them forward again. As you lengthen the spine, heart moving forward, chin moving up. Exhale, walking the hands back if you like, or keep them where they are in the same place. Inhale, lengthen. If you're walking your hands, don't always walk with the same hand first. So see if you can change a little bit around here. And see if you can round the whole of the spine from the tail to the top of the head on the exhale. And lengthen the whole spine when you inhale. And then just keep your hands where they are, below the shoulders. And exhale, round your back and move your shoulders to one side. And when you inhale, bend the elbows and move your chest across the mat to the other side. And then exhale, rounding the back, spine moving up towards the ceiling. And inhale, bending the elbows and the spine is kind of hanging down towards the floor. Exhale, rounding, tucking the tail and the chin. Inhale, tailbone goes back and chin goes forward and the spine is hanging down. So do this a couple of times more in this direction, moving with your breath. You decide how much you're bending your elbows. And then try also to go in the other direction. So you can make this movement as big as you like or as small as you like. It's completely up to you to find a nice space to be in, a good movement, something that feels nice in your body. So let's just do one more like this, rolling the spine sideways. And then you come back to the middle position. And now instead of circling your chest, make circles with your pelvis. So you can move the pelvis over to one side, and then you circle back towards the heels over to the other side. Inhale towards your hands. Exhale towards your heels. Or maybe you want to try to breathe. Exhale coming forward and inhale coming back, and just notice what difference it makes. If it makes any difference. And then you decide how you want to breathe, but make one circle, one breath. And then try the other direction too. And again, you decide how big or how small you want to make this movement. And going the other way around, it doesn't have to be the same size, so you can be curious and explore how it feels best to move with your body right here and right now. So maybe one last circle with the pelvis. And then you can find your way back to the neutral position. Okay. So we're going to challenge the core muscles a bit. So see if you can keep your pelvis really quiet, not moving your pelvis and taking all the weight into your right hand. Push into your right hand and then see what happens. Notice what happens in your core below the navel, into your pelvic floor, as you lift the left hand just a couple of centimeters off the floor. Take a couple of breaths here. And then when you exhale, you can place the hand back down, even weight in both hands. And now you're taking all the weight in the left hand, and notice how your body is responding, just moving the weight over so you can lift the right hand up a little bit, a couple of centimeters above the floor, taking a couple of breaths. You may be able to feel that even if this is a tiny movement, you can try right hand down, left hand up again. Even if it's a tiny movement, actually there's a lot of muscles working in your core to stabilize, to keep your pelvis still. And then left hand can come down and the right hand can come up. Push into the right hand now. Maybe next time you lift the left hand and you reach forward with the palm facing in. And then as you exhale, you can bring the weight down. Try still to keep your pelvis pretty quiet, not moving. Changing the weight into the other hand, left hand. And reach your right hand forward, palm facing in. And exhale, lower. So try this a couple of times, keeping your pelvis as still as possible and moving with your breath. So the arm can come up when you inhale, reach forward and down when you exhale. Keep the back of the neck long so you can gaze down towards the mat or maybe slightly forward of your fingers. The last time with the left hand up and down, and then just keep your hands down on the floor, and then we'll try the same with the knees. So see if you can keep your pelvis pretty still, weight into the left knee and lift your right knee off the floor, maybe also lifting the lower leg and the foot up, just keep it above the ground for a couple of breaths. Notice how you're working inside the body to stabilize everything. And then the knee can come down. And then try with the other leg, left leg up. So you try to move your pelvis as little as you can. When you place the knee down, shift the weight over. And lift the first leg up, right leg up again. Take a couple of breaths. And exhale down. And the left leg up. And down. And then inhale, tuck the toes under on the right foot, and exhale, slide the toes on the mat, pushing out through the heel. Take all the weight in your right hand, stabilize yourself so you can lift your left arm up when you inhale, stretching from the right heel to the left hand. Exhale, hand and knee back down. Keep your pelvis still, tuck the toes on the left foot as you inhale, slide the toes along the mat as you exhale, pushing out through your heel. Feel the strength in your leg and the weight in your left hand, and reach your right arm up when you inhale, stretching from the left heel to the right hand, and exhale, coming back down. Let's do this a couple of times. Inhale, toes tuck under. Exhale, straighten the leg and stabilize yourself. And inhale, lift the opposite arm. Exhale, back down. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, straighten the leg. Stabilize. Inhale, lift the opposite arm. So this is the right arm to the left leg. And exhale, come down. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, straighten. Now you can keep your toes on the floor. Or maybe you want to lift the leg up as you lift the opposite arm as well. Keep your pelvis as still as you can. And exhale, come back down. Move the weight over. Tuck the toes on the left foot. Slide the toes on the floor. Stretching out on exhalation. Inhale, maybe you want to lift the leg and lift the arm too. Maybe your toes are still tucked under on the floor. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, right foot, toes under. Exhale, straighten, stabilize. So lift whatever you want to lift here, but try to keep your pelvis really quiet. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, toes tuck under. Exhale, straighten the other leg. Lift whatever you want to lift on the inhalation. Exhale, come down. You can keep repeating this. Or you can add an extra little movement here. So you're lifting up on the inhalation. Now on the exhale, round the back, tuck the tail and the chin under and have the elbow touch the opposite knee. And then inhale, straighten everything out again. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, straighten the leg first, stabilize. Then you lift when you inhale. And then exhale, rounding the back. Tail, chin tucked under, elbow reaching to the opposite knee. Inhale, straighten everything out. Exhale, down. Let's do 2 more on both sides. If one is enough, that's fine too. So just do it in your own pace. Really try to control the movement. Keep your body as still as you can. Maybe one last time. And then when you come back, take a nice breath in on all fours. And exhale, push the pelvis back towards the heels. So releasing some weight off your hands. And maybe again, as you inhale, you can come forward. Taking weight into the hands and then exhale, pushing the pelvis back. Inhale, rocking forward. And exhale, rocking back. Inhale, rocking forward. So with this movement, your elbows stay off the ground and the spine is pretty straight and long, and maybe you're feeling some stretching into the buttocks. Just try a couple of more repetitions, moving with your own breath back as you exhale, forward as you inhale, or maybe try to switch around and see how that feels. And then when you come back on an exhalation, bring your elbows down and then come forward closer to the floor. Push evenly into both hands, straighten the arms. And this time you round as you go back. Tuck the tail, tuck the chin, elbows come down. Come forward closer to the floor, push into both hands evenly to lift yourself off. And exhale, coming back. Or again, maybe you want to switch the breath around and see how that makes you feel. And then you can do the version that feels better in your body. So there are no rules, we can't break. Breathing and moving however feels good in your body. Right here, right now. One last time. So as you come back again, pelvis towards the heels, just allow yourself to take a little pause here in child's pose. Maybe bringing your forehead down to the floor, or maybe you would like to rest your forehead on your lower arms, your forearms. Take a couple of full breaths. And in this position, you have a good opportunity to explore the breathing as it's moving into the side ribs and armpits, and the lower and middle and upper back. So we're inviting some of that good, full yogic breath into the back body. And then when you feel ready to move again,
You can place the hands beside your knees, push the pelvis back towards the heels, and then you roll up to sitting all the way from the tailbone through the lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulders, neck, and head. And as you come up, just again take a moment to notice how that feels in your body, your breath, your mind, right here, right now. So we will be doing a little flow sequence, a little sun salutation from sitting down. You can start in the low kneeling position, sitting on your heels, like I'm here. And if you're not comfortable sitting on your heels, you just start in a high kneeling position. So you can also start the movements from this position, high on your knees. Okay, we start with the hands in front of the heart. So as you inhale, if you're not in high kneeling already, you come up on your knees and you're reaching your arms out and overhead. And then when you exhale, just take a moment to feel how you're activating below the navel before you lean forward and place your hands on the floor. Keep exhaling, rounding your back. As you inhale, tuck your toes and reach your heart forward, gently lifting your chin up. So don't overarch the lower back. See if you can find openness in the chest instead. And exhale, push the pelvis behind the knees, and then you lift up into a down dog position. Keep your knees bent and your heels lifted so you can focus on straightening the spine, pushing the pelvis away from the hands, and at the same time reaching the top of the back of the head forward towards the thumbs, ears in line with your arms, rolling the shoulder blades away from the ears. And stay here and take a couple of breaths. And then you can inhale in preparation to come down, and when you exhale, come down to all fours and keep exhaling, straighten the ankles and push the pelvis towards the heels. Child's pose, and then when you inhale, you come into high kneeling as you're rolling up through the spine and you're reaching your arms out and up overhead. Maybe palms touch, maybe you keep your palms apart. And then exhale, hands back to your heart. And if you want, you can also sit back on your heels. And then it starts all over with an inhalation, maybe coming back up if you're not already up, reaching your arms overhead. Exhale, feel the stabilization below your navel before you lean forward, hands down, rounding your back. Tuck the toes, inhale, heart reaches forward, maybe lifting your chin, broadening across your collarbones. Exhale, push back, pelvis behind the knees, and then lift up into a down dog position with your heels lifted and your knees bent, at least to begin with, so you can focus on that nice and long spine, pushing the pelvis away from the hands, top of the back of the head reaching towards the thumbs, rolling the shoulders away from the ears. And then as you exhale, you can lower one heel down if you like. And as you inhale, you can lift it back up. Exhale, you can lower the other heel down. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, lower. So you're slowly stepping from side to side. If that's not comfortable in your pelvis, you can also do both heels down, both heels up, both heels down, both heels up. And in preparation to come down from down dog, take a nice breath in. And when you exhale, come to all fours and keep exhaling, straighten the ankles. Move into child's pose, pushing the pelvis back. And from child's pose, inhale, come up into high kneeling, rolling up through your spine, circling your arms out and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. And if you like, you can sit back towards your heels. So let's do 2 more rounds. Inhale, coming up. Exhale to all fours. Rounding the back. Inhale, toes tucked under, heart reaching forward, gently arching the whole of the back, not just the lower back. Exhale into down dog. So So lengthen the spine first, and then if you like, you can step one heel down, one heel up, other heel down, other heel up. Or you can do both legs at the same time. Or you can explore other variations of downward facing dog. Keep on breathing. And then prepare to come down with a nice big breath in. And then exhale, all fours to child's pose. Inhale, rolling up through the spine from the tail to the crown of the head. High kneeling, arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart. And maybe low kneeling. And one more inhale, coming up. Exhale, all fours. Rounding the spine. Inhale, gently arching the spine, heart forward, chin up. Exhale, down dog. So do down dog in whatever variation you prefer, or explore, play, and keep on breathing. To come down, begin with a nice breath in, and then exhale all fours to child's pose. Inhale into high kneeling, rolling up, lifting the arms. Exhale, stay in high kneeling or sit towards your heels, hands in front of your heart. So we'll do one more half round of the sun salutation and use that as a transition into standing. So when you inhale, come up into high kneeling again, reaching the arms up. Exhale, all fours rounding the spine, tucking the tail, chin. Inhale, tuck the toes under, gently arch the spine. And then as you exhale this time, you don't move into down dog, but hands in front of the knees, push the knees off the floor, bring the weight into your feet, hands on your knees. And then begin by straightening the arms, and then straightening the legs. So stand with hip distance between the feet. Feet don't have to be perfectly parallel, so whatever feels comfortable, so you can distribute the weight evenly in the feet. You can feel that you have even weight right to left, front to back, inside to outside of the feet. So you can grow some nice roots down through the feet. The weight is a little in front of the heels and the legs are straight, but see if you can unlock the knees and balance your pelvis and lengthen the spine and balance the shoulders and your head. So just take a moment in an active standing position to feel the rooting down through the feet and the length up through the top of the back of the head. And then you can place your hands on the pelvis, and we'll do some tailbone swing, so you can bend your knees and you swing your tailbone back and you swing the tailbone forward. So as you inhale, tailbone can go back and you're arching the lower back. Exhale, tucking the tail in between the thighs and stretching the lower back. Inhale, tail swings back. Exhale, tail swings forward. So we're kind of overly arching the lower back as the tail comes back, and then you're doing a standing couch potato, tucking the tail under. Maybe feeling some strength on the front. Inhale, tail can come back. And the next time the tailbone comes forward, push into the feet and lift the tail up and back. Exhale, down and forward. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, down and forward. So the tailbone is making a full circle up and back. And down and forward. Up and back. And down and forward. And you can allow for more of the spine to engage. If you like, you can lift the heart, lift your chin. Exhale, drop the chin around the back as the tail comes under. So this can be like a wave-like motion. through the whole spine if you like. Or if you prefer the first version with some smaller movements, that's perfectly fine too. So make it your movement, make it feel good in your body. Okay, maybe you also want to move your shoulders. You can release your hips, and then you can circle the shoulders up and back, and down and forward. Lifting the heart, lifting the chin if you like. As the tail comes back and the shoulders come back. Exhale, tail comes forward, shoulders hang down, chin in. Inhale, up and back. Down and forward. You can even lift your arms all the way up overhead if it feels nice. So just do a couple of more rounds, however you like it to do this movement. Moving your whole spine. And then come back to the middle. And then instead of circling the pelvis around like this, then we can do pelvic circles standing up like we did them on all fours. So you're circling the pelvis around a point, an invisible point between your feet. And again, you can make this bigger or smaller, however feels good. One circle is one breath, so maybe you inhale as the tail moves back and around, and exhale as the tailbone comes forward and around, or maybe vice versa. Also try going in the other direction. Moving with your breath. And maybe one last round, making everything move around in your pelvis, your pelvis and your hip joints and your lower back. Coming back to the middle, pushing evenly into the feet. See if you can straighten the legs without locking the knees. Balance your pelvis in neutral, long spine, shoulders and head back, and a lot of length out through the top of the back of your head. So again, just pause for a moment and notice how you're feeling right now, right here in your body. Noticing your breath and how you're feeling in your mind. And then you can step your feet wider, so we will do some squatting. The wider you take your feet, the more you turn your toes out. So you don't have to take a wide squat. You can also do more hip distance squat, but then your knees will be pointing more forward and your toes not very much out. So we track the thigh bones with the direction of the toes. So if you step out wider, you turn your feet further out and your knees will come out wider as well. Starting with straight legs, arms out. Take a nice breath in, and when you exhale, bend your knees and circle your arms down and in and across, and inhale all the way up and out, and exhale down in a nice squat. Inhale coming up, exhale into a squat, inhale up. You decide how low you want to go. Keep tracking your thighs over your toes. Inhale up. Exhale down, and notice it's not always the same arm in the front. Sometimes the right is in the front, and sometimes the left goes to the front. Let's do two more. Inhale, arms up, straight legs. Exhale, bend the legs, arms circle down. And then one more inhale, arms up. And then exhale, bend your knees and pause with your arms parallel to the floor. And then you can lift one arm up, inhale. When you exhale, you're going to do a side stretch. You can place one hand on the knee, or you can place the forearm on the thigh, or you can just cross the arm below. Inhale back to the middle, exhale to the other side. Inhale middle, exhale to the side. Inhale middle, exhale to the side, maybe a hand on the knee.
Maybe forearm on the thigh. Or maybe just reaching across towards the opposite foot. And then you could stay in that side stretch if you like. Get a good stretch from the hip all the way up into the hand. Take a couple of breaths. Still tracking your thighs towards your toes. Inhale back to the middle. And then to the other side. And I'm not hanging down on my leg. I'm barely touching, so it's all about strengthening in the center, holding yourself up. Inhale, come back to the middle. And then exhale, swing your tail back, lean a little bit forward and place your forearms on your thighs, and you can interlock your fingers. And you're kind of just hanging out here for a moment. Long spine, you can inhale with a nice long spine. Exhale, if you want, you could round the back in a standing posture. Inhale, straighten the spine, and exhale, round. And then inhale, straighten the spine, and then exhale, place the hands down, maybe using a bolster for the hands or cushion for the hands or some yoga blocks, maybe just fingertips touching, turning the feet more parallel. And maybe step your feet a little further back so you have space to lengthen the spine. Okay, first movement you could do is exhale, bend one knee over the toes. Inhale back to the middle. Exhale the other knee over the toes. Inhale back to the middle. Try to keep your spine really long from the tail to the top of the back of the head. Inhale in the middle. Exhale the other side. So you're getting a good stretch in the inner thigh. Inhale middle, exhale, and some strength in the outer thigh. Maybe one more time to both sides. And then come back to the middle, and then hands below your nose. Push into one hand, long spine, inhale, twist to one side, lifting the arm up, exhale, come back. Down to the floor with that hand, inhale, long spine, twist to the other side, and exhale, down, inhale, twist, and exhale, down, and inhale, twist, and exhale down. So remember, you can use a bolster or blocks under your hands, the seat of a chair. We'll take a couple of more rounds. Another variation would be having your heels in and knees bent, and having your hands on your knees instead. And twisting from here. Exhale down. Inhale, twist. Exhale down. One more to both sides. So maybe you already have your hands on your knees. Maybe your hands are still towards the ground. So from there, hands down, you would take your heels in, bend in your knees, hands to your knees. Feel the stabilization on the front of your torso below the navel. Push with the hands off the knees. Lift your chest, straighten the arms, straighten the legs. And then you can walk your feet back in. Just take a moment here. We're going to head down to the floor again. So we do that with a hip hinge. Take a nice breath in, long spine, and when you exhale, hinge at the hips, pelvis moves back, bend your knees, hands to your knees, and then keep going, hands down on the floor.
Walk your hands a little further forward and then see if you can get the knees down all at the same time. Back to all fours. So we will be doing a couple of final movements here from all fours before it's time to take rest. So again, inhale, long spine, exhale, round the back. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, round the back. And then inhale, long spine, and then exhale, you can push the pelvis towards the heels. Inhale, come back up, and exhale, pushing back towards the heels. So this is a repetition of something we've done earlier. But now instead of having both knees on the ground, you could take one foot forward and rock forward as you inhale, and then rock back as you exhale. And you probably won't go as far, especially not if you want to keep the foot down. Inhale, coming forward into a lunge type of position. Exhale, back. Maybe feeling a stretch on the back of that leg. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. You can also circle in this position. Circling forward, circling back. Exploring the range of movement available to you in your hips. You could try to circle in the other direction too. Moving with your breath. So maybe you exhale back and inhale forward, or maybe you try to do the opposite and see how that feels. And then you can also come forward and kind of hang out here for a little while, maybe being on the palms of your hands. Some of you may want to come down on your forearms. You could use a cushion or bolster under your arms if you like. And if you're down on your forearms, come back on your hands. And then tuck the toes under on the back foot. And then push out through the heel and straighten the leg as much as you can without lifting the pelvis or lifting it very little. So this increases the stretch on the front of the hip. So just stay there for a couple of breaths. So if it's too much, take the knee down. So exhale anyway, the knee comes down. Come back to all fours. And then try the same with the other leg forward. You don't have to switch around. I'll just turn to the opposite side. One leg comes forward. Inhale, coming forward into a lunge type position. Exhale, pushing the pelvis back. Maybe feeling that stretch on the back of the thigh. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, back. Inhale forward, exhale back, and instead of going in straight lines, maybe circling forward and circling back. Moving with your breath. Try the other direction too. Maybe notice if it's more easy or more difficult to move in this hip than in the other hip before. And then you can come forward and kind of just hang out here for a little while. You can stay on your palms, so if you like you can come down on your forearms, maybe using a bolster or some support. Just take a couple of breaths like that. And if you're down on your forearms, come back up on your palms and then tuck the toes under on the back foot. And you're lifting the knee off by pushing out through the heel, but see if you can do that without lifting your pelvis or lifting it as little as possible. So that will increase the stretch on the front of the pelvis. And if that is too much, just come down on your knee again. So we'll all come back down anyway. And back to all fours. And then just do a couple of circles here. Maybe inhale as you circle forward, exhale as you circle back. And try the other way around too, and you can also try the other way around with the breath. Maybe exhale coming forward, inhale, circling back, see if it makes a difference. Choose the version you prefer. And then come back to the middle. And then again, we'll finish with a little pause in child's pose, pushing the pelvis back, maybe resting the forehead on the forearms, and taking a little moment to tune into the breath, especially how the breath is moving into the side ribs and armpits, and lower and middle and upper back. And then you can completely let go of any temptation to manipulate your breath, so you can allow the body to take over. Allow the body to breathe, just noticing the breath, but no longer manipulating the breath in any way. Noticing when the body is inhaling and noticing when the body is exhaling. And when you're ready to move again, there's one final movement into Shavasana, corpse pose. You can place the hands beside your knees, push the pelvis back, roll all the way back up into sitting. Notice how you're feeling. And then prepare to take rest. So depending on how long you want to rest, maybe make yourself comfortable, it's worth it. Maybe if you're only doing a couple of minutes on your back, you don't need to do much, but if you want to head over into a guided relaxation, a yoga nidra, a yogic sleep, then I recommend that you lie on something soft and warm, maybe fold your blankets, a couple of layers underneath, and then you will need one blanket for your head, or maybe a cushion. Make sure you have that soft edge along the shoulders. You'll need one blanket to cover yourself with. And then when we are resting for more than 5 minutes on a hard surface like this, I recommend you have some support under your knees to ease your lower back. If you're lying on your bed, that is not to worry about that. But lying on the floor, it's great if you have a bolster or maybe a couple of firm cushions under your knees, maybe even an eye cushion if you like. So time to set up for a nice rest. So give yourself a nice treat after you have practiced. Even if you feel warm right now, I recommend that you have a blanket that you can cover yourself with, at least partially. And again, especially if you're going to rest for a longer time, 10, 15, 20 minutes, your body temperature will drop. So it's important that you can really rest and relax, and you'll need to stay warm, so cover yourself with a blanket. So lying down, bolster under your knees, soft edge at your shoulders. Cover yourself with that blanket. Maybe using an eye cushion. Maybe just a folded scarf over your eyes or sleeve from a t-shirt.
And then take a couple of nice full breaths. Deep, full inhalation all the way down into your belly and pelvic floor. And completely let go as you exhale.